Wow. Seems like all the guys you grew up with, from Adrian Street to Iron Sheik. Seems like the list goes on and on. Now the one and only Terry Funk. The last picture I saw of him was a picture of him in the nursing home, and he had a little skinny and a big old fat knees where he lost his quads. That means the last hurrah. That's the way mine is right now. So uh, get in line. So one of the saddest days in wrestling. I thought Terry Funk. I thought he was the greatest performer in wrestling because I seen him in the territories, and I seen him when he was champion. I'm not taking the stuff when he was Chainsaw Charlie with that ECW shit or anything like that. I'm talking when he was the man. He was Terry Funk, and him and his brother were both world champions. So that just shows you how good they were.
So where'd you see or know him first?
Hell, watched him on TV when I was a kid. But he was second generation. His father, Dory Funk Senior, he went to Hammond High School.
Oh, in Indiana?
Yeah, so
Oh, wow.
the Funks are transported Indianans into Texans. They're not Texans. They lived in Indiana.
Did Terry ever live in Indiana or just
Yeah,
his
they
dad?
were all born in Indiana.
No shit. Terry
Yeah.
Funk was born in Indiana.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Dory Funk, Terry Funk. Yeah, and yeah, they're transplanted Indianans, unless all the research that I looked at said they wasn't. But it's just hard to focus on right now. And then for Mike Rotunda to have, who's been in the business, and then to have his son die, uh, man, as a parent, you're just thinking, oh my God. And here's Mike living the dream, and his family living the dream, and then his little baby dies. I'm calling him a little baby, no matter what. Mike Rotunda thinks of his son as a little baby. Remember when he was born? So it's just a tough day for any wrestling fan.
So back to Terry Funk. Did you ever work any territories when he was there?
No, the last I had seen him was when he he was in me and Regal's caravan. He come into Germany, and so he was over at our caravan, drinking, telling stories all night. It was me, Regal, and Max Payne there. If any others were, I can't remember. But he just sat there telling stories all night and just being Terry Funk, as down to earth as you can get, as normal as a guy you could get, and you just sit back, listen in amazement, and then just shake your head and you say, "I'm the luckiest man in the world to be listening to this stuff." It was just unbelievable.
So was he there to wrestle?
Yeah, he wrestled.
Okay, so
Yeah, this was 1992.
So you were kind of you were kind of with him there then.
Yeah, that was it. He was
Yeah.
he was just in for a couple days.
I remember he was in Memphis. So
Memphis, he's famous for the famous match with no people there with Lawler, and then he gave it the famous "My eye, my eye."
why'd they do that match? Do you know?
No,
I mean, there was some reason though, wasn't there? When there's some, is anybody in the chat know why Lawler and Funk did that? I thought there was some.
Just looking off an angle like that, it might be or Funk could be complaining that Lawler only wins because he's got sellout crowd giving him encouragement and stuff like that. So he was like the home team all the time he plays. He didn't meet Terry on his terms. Terry always had to come in. And without all those stupid fans out there cheering for the king, that he'd whoop his ass 1, 2, 3. And I think I heard I think it was a thing. Well, I'll wrestle you with no fan support and we'll see what happens.
So was that the end of the match? Do you know? I saw that clip. Somebody just posted it yesterday. The My Eye clip when he's
My eye.
Was that the end of the match? Do you know?
Yeah.
Was it? Huh. So did Lawler win? Did he give up? Was he cheating? You don't know?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I did see that. So I just remember the Funks. Now, who was it? Did he have a real brother or a wrestling brother?
Well, he had Dory. Well, Dory Funk was his real brother, and he was also the world champion.
So who was Dory Funk Jr.? Was that
That's him.
that's
Dory Funk
is his
yeah,
brother?
Yeah, his dad was named Dory,
Okay.
and then Dory Funk Jr. was. I think he lives in Florida, and you'll see him at the conventions. And then that's Terry's older brother, and he was NWA world champion for I can't remember how many years it was, but the Funks are the only. Then they had Jimmy Jack Funk, but that was just Jesse Barr wearing a mask with as a rib, just getting the. If you took his mask off, and if you was a wrestling fan, you'd know it was Jesse Barr. So then he wore a mask like the Lone Ranger, and he became Jimmy Jack Funk.
Now, when they were in Memphis, and they might have done this other places. I think I remember in Memphis though, watching as a kid. Didn't they do like the branding? Didn't they have like a?
Yeah.
Didn't they do that? Wasn't that the Funks that did the?
He did that with Mankind too, I think, or he might have done it in ECW, but it was a standard funkism.
So how do you do that for real? Did they didn't really brand people, did they? Or did they?
Don't know. Don't want to know.
Don't want to know. Huh?
Don't want to know. I don't want to know how Harry Houdini does his tricks, because then I don't sit there and watch it like a kid anymore. But Terry was one of the greatest performers ever, one of the nicest guys there is, and you would have. He'd be lucky if he had the belt slung over his shoulder, if he remembered it, if it had puke all over it, beer stains all over it, or whatever. But he was just the epitome of what a pro wrestler was.
Yeah, it was always the thing. I like as a kid, I remember like I hated him. He seemed when he was in Memphis, just couldn't stand him. But then later you hear everybody say how nice a guy he is in real life. And
well, like in the pro wrestling business, usually the bad guys are the good guys.
So what happened with you then with that?
With what?
The bad guys being the good guys. Are you saying you're a good guy in real life, Rip?
I'm not even. I don't even wrestle anymore, so I'm not.
No,
I'm not a bad guy.
But I mean, like when you wrestled, you were a bad guy. Does that mean you were a good guy in real life?
Yeah, I didn't have no rest. I didn't do no drugs. I didn't get no speeding tickets. I didn't do anything.
Big gold and a billfold, so swole that I can't get the shit closed. So I money fold and rubber band wrap, and when it pops.